Welcome back. Millions of deaths attributed to malaria are still being recorded globally. The disease constitutes a huge epidemiologic burden here in Nigeria. The introduction of community vector control points by the Lagos state government could prove that the malaria and vector-borne diseases can be controlled.
Recent reports indicate improved access to malaria interventions, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. Diagnostic testing for children as well as preventive treatment for pregnant women has significantly increased. According to the 2016 World Malaria Report released by the World Health Organization (WHO), the estimated number of malaria cases declined by 88%, while death rates declined by 90% in Africa between 2000 and 2015. Despite these heartwarming reports, the scourge has not lost its potency. The burden of malaria has continued to hamper economic growth in Africa. In Nigeria, for instance, malaria accounts for 60% of outpatients' visits to health facilities, 30% childhood death, 25% of death in children under 1 year, and 11% maternal death, according to statistics from the Federal Ministry of Health. Financially, the implication is depressing. The annual financial loss due to malaria is put at about 132 billion naira in form of treatment cost, prevention and loss of man-hours. The World Health Organization recommends integrated vector management to tackle malaria and other vector-borne diseases.
For the use of humanity and good people of Surulere local government, in the name of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
This is the step being taken by the Lagos state government in collaboration with a pest control company by establishing community vector control points across the state. The project begins with Masha community in Surulere. The vector control point has chemicals stored in tanks to fumigate drainage channels and stagnant waters that serve as breeding sites for larvae and eggs.
Last year in 2016, October, the Governor, His Excellency, Governor of Lagos State, launched the Vector Control Project. And as a contribution from the ministry, they donated a helix. A brand new helix was bought for the project. Now, those helix are meant to use for sub-canals and hard-to-reach areas from where these vector control points are going to cover. We're not going into homes per se, you understand, because other pest control people would go into homes to carry out normal pest control activity. We're just faced with the environment. By statutory right, the government owns the environment. As such, government has that, it's a mandate that they must fulfill. They must look after the environment.
When we are cleaning our environment, we are dealing with our solid waste management. This will also serve as a backup to ensure that whatever we have done in the area of waste management, this will also serve to ensure that all the mosquito breed areas, like our drainages, are also kept in good order. We are clean. We are ensure that we fumigate them, all the mosquito breed areas, and market where you have rat, we fumigate all those areas. And houses now, we've moved to houses. And that is why you see this point, community vector point. This one will deal with large area of houses.
Cleanliness is key to eradicating malaria. In its environmental reform policy, the state government is faced with growing criticism over the delay in the full implementation of the Cleaner Lagos initiative, leading to the return of waste on the streets.
You all know about the process that this importation of compactors will take. It is not just that we are going to buy them from Alaba market. So they are coming from abroad, and that is what is causing the delay. I'm assuring you, before the end of the year, it will take off fully. So what we are doing now is just intervention, and you can see that, yes, as you said, we have little challenges, but I'm assuring you, even with the challenges, we are on top of the whole thing. And before the end of the year, it will take off fully, and all our compactors and our bins, everything will arrive.
The establishment of vector control points is a welcome development. But this community leader believes individuals and government must exercise more responsibility to fighting malaria.
If people know of personal hygiene, I don't think we'll be talking a lot about all this gutter being filled up, not moving, stagnant water everywhere. Having said that, we are trying. I use my money to clear even my area, but it's not enough because many people are in Lagos. Many people come into Lagos and they don't know anything. They just throw things away anywhere they like. People just eat and just drop it. Even in the way going, in the bus, they throw it away. Look at the environmental. I said it. We've been doing it well. You can see a lot of rubbish that comes out in individual house. You'll be surprised. Now they stopped it all of a sudden. Why? I don't know. That's why I said to the governor, you should please let us continue. Because even if they didn't do it, the rubbish will be there. That's personal hygiene, very, very important.
The plan is to replicate this in every CDA. In every CDA across Lagos. Like you see, this project is where the people can actually see government, can actually touch government. It will be replicated everywhere. And as we speak, the World Health Organization, they are looking at to see how the impact on implementation, to see where they too can come in.
Malaria still poses a potent threat to global health, threatening the achievement of the WHO Global Technical Strategy for Malaria that set an ambitious target of at least a 90% reduction in cases, incidence and mortality rate of malaria by 2030. While governments continue to proffer sustainable solutions, the support of the citizenry is required in minor but highly effective interventions such as the Community Vector Control Program to tackle malaria and other vector-borne diseases.
Meanwhile, in helping to battle malaria and other diseases, the Sarah Adebisi Foundation at the weekend embarked on a rural medical outreach providing free healthcare to residents of Iba, Ojo and Badagry.
Hundreds of residents of Ojo, Iba and Badagry communities converge on the Iba Town Hall from the early hours to partake in a free healthcare service. The free medical service is made possible by a collaboration of NGOs to support the less privileged and those who cannot afford their medical expenses. Medical screening, including tests for malaria, HIV, sugar, body mass index, as well as deworming exercise were carried out. The exercise was accompanied with free distribution of drugs.
The objective of this outreach is to help the society, give them free medical. We have about 1,000 beneficiaries that have applied, and the event is always organized every 3 months, quarterly every 3 months in the year.
They give all drugs for malaria and typhoid with blood pressure. It's a pleasure for me to see such a program. I'm very happy if such a thing can continue this in our local governments.
The organizers say the medical outreach would be extended to other communities in Lagos State.
And that's where we wrap up the program for this week. Thanks for staying with us. Let's do it again, same time next week. I am Bisi Adebayo. Bye for now.